Hello world and welcome back to City Skylines. This is Ridgeside, the beautiful, beautiful town we were working on. Funny thing about this recording, for some reason the voice audio didn't take. Couldn't tell you why, just didn't. So I'm adding this in after the fact. So I have to try and recall exactly what it is I was doing. So it's like I'm watching this for the first time with you guys, even though I played it. I have no idea what was going on. So as you can see, there is a huge, huge demand for residential at the minute, and I'm just, pandering to that. There's also no water in that thing. I also noticed that there's no services. The services don't travel across the dams. I mean, you'll see me figure that out in a few minutes anyway, I imagine. And I'm picking out a spot to build a bus station. I know. I'm obsessed with bus stations, but they work. They're useful, they work, and that is the ideal spot inside that little ring road thing. Delicious. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I could have built it in amongst all the centre there, but I've started building all other things there as well now. So it's good to have the buses give access to the residential area. But the thing is, you can always run a bus route around there and have it go to wherever you want to put your bus station. People will use it. That's the thing. I mean, they will commute to this particular spot. And well, we basically just need to keep building up Ridgeside, don't we? There's demand for all sorts of things. A little bit of commercial there. But I mean, as you can tell, there's huge request for these things. Oh yeah. Checking out the bus capacities. I forgot I did that. Turns out that mod saves it across all your games. That's brilliant. That saves you the fuss, doesn't it? I mean, it makes sense that it would. You're messing with the fundamental parameters of the game, so, it would do that, wouldn't it? Yeah, and anyway, this particular part of Ridgeside, I want to be kind of like a low-density residential. I mean, there'll be some high-density residential mixed in there, but I don't want skyscrapers. I don't mind a few little high-rises. I would like to try and avoid skyscrapers. But it'd just look odd down there by the beach, wouldn't it? Down by the river. I mean, a little bit back. You know me, I like having my small buildings at the front and then bigger buildings behind and then even bigger buildings behind that. So that's why I'm keeping it low density along the actual shorefront of that river. I should probably name the rivers. I mean, I keep saying this, but if there's anything you guys want to see named, any particular name you want to see me give something, just tell me and I'll do it. Yeah, I'm all about you guys helping out here. And I'm also terrible at placing footpaths. I'd love to see what you guys have to say, have to contribute. It's true with all my videos, I suppose. I'm open to constructive input. Looking at the bounds of the land, I will expand that as well. I couldn't before. The game kept crashing when I kept expanding, but that was all due to the RAM issue that I encountered. You might remember that. Mentioned it once or twice. Now that's fixed. There's no reason why I can't purchase it all. I just haven't got round to it yet. Also trying to figure out how I could extend off of this inner ring road, because it is one way, right? So things have to go all the way around the loop to get to that one particular spot. I want to come off sideways. It makes more sense to do it from this little two-way avenue down here. I mean, because I say, you point off of that. Yeah, no point putting another junction in there either. If you point off of that one-way system, it means they have to go all the way around and up through that mess just to get back to where they're starting. And it makes no sense. So it makes more sense to add a junction in here and have it coming off like that. It doesn't look as neat, but we're not looking for neat. I mean, you're building a city, you want it to look... Well, I think that's going to seem like an odd phrase to use. You want it to look organic. Like things have just developed that way. All the prettiest cities are built like that. And the other thing I noticed is that little one-way road in there. No reason that couldn't be two-way, just so we've got like two loops sort of overlapping. It's like two overlapping rings then, isn't it? But the trouble is, the hospital will not let me upgrade that road. I mean, I want it to be 4 lanes, and obviously it's got to be the narrow one there. I can't put that avenue in there, because that'd involve removing a load of stuff and rebuilding a lot of things. So it's just a case of moving things around, repositioning them, so the game will actually let me upgrade that road. It's the right width, just for some reason it wouldn't let me do it there. I can't tell you why. Yeah, I have all that as a commercial. Yeah, I mean, why not? Commercial around schools. Well, what do kids need? They need the shops. I mean, what they're going to work in when they leave school? Let's be honest. Yeah, everyone needs that Saturday job to earn their first money. Can't rely on pocket money forever. There you go. Now we've got 2 loops, right? We've got the 3-lane going... Oh, I suppose. You got that 3-lane loop that leads to the motorway, and then this one little inner loop that includes that avenue. Just makes traffic flow easier in my mind. I think it'll negate a lot of problems later on. Especially once we start expanding. Because that inner loop there, that little one that the school and everything's in, that's going to become very, very busy. I mean, that's essentially the way in and out of this section. So now what I'm going to do, what you're going to see me do, is figure out how to get this road across. Because I want that to go all the way across. You know, I want it to come all the way through. I mean, that is all farmland there. Have a look at that. That is all farmland there. I'm basically building up farmland, but it's not like there's any shortage of farms there. And I already have those ones working up in the top end, if you remember. Further upstream, I had all those farms forming. Now, you know, this road is just going to be a dead end as well. This is just to give them like a main road access. It's going to be like 3 roads going all the way along, and then connecting them all with like connecting roads. I don't know what I'd call them. Yeah, just connecting roads, I suppose, is an accurate enough description. Just so the traffic doesn't all rely upon going across this long distance. I mean, having really long roads is fine, but it causes traffic jams. So you need as many cut-throughs like that in the bottom left there. You know what the map is? Yeah, like that there. And once I've extended, like this, there you go. So you got it all figured out, You need a few roads like that just to prevent traffic jams forming. And I'm not anticipating this getting hugely busy. We might get fairly busy, but this isn't going to be skyscrapers. There's not going to be 10,000 people living in this little section. Well, there will be, but they'll be spread out. You know, we're not going to let it get ridiculous. And here we are trying to get the roads to line up well. Yeah, not very good at it, but I want it to look neat and tidy. I want it to come in almost perpendicular, and this almost at right angles. Almost fully perpendicular. I mean, that's not quite it. That road's a little bit too long. I'll eventually figure it out. There we go. Bring it to there. And then... yeah, this little curved one just seems better than the freeform. Bring it to there, and in it comes. Perfect angle. I wish the junction kept the colour of the major road there. Should be able to issue the priority and it just keep it of the, you know, that non-paved street, that one that doesn't have the footpath, the sidewalkless thing, whatever it's called. I wish that was the dominant road on that junction, because I think that'd look better. At the minute, it looks like the other roads are overflowing into it. But yeah, just a few connections like that should get it going. I mean, there's a couple of little gaps left there, but it's perfect for some parks. I mean, although it's going to be light density, we want it to be... I don't know. We want it to be a nice affluent area. Because I mean, why not? I mean, if rich people, well, we're not strictly trying to appeal to rich people. We just want to build somewhere nice to live. You know, you want nice houses. You don't want derelict buildings here, there, and everywhere. And that's a good spot for a park. Well done, that Sval. And that's when I realised I haven't got anything down here. So all this area has nothing. I mean, putting a few in here, I'd try putting a botanical gardens right by the river. How beautiful would that have been? Botanical garden right by the river. Game won't let me though. Game will not let me. So off we go back to some simple things like basketball by the river. Who doesn't like basketball by the river? I suppose technically that's becoming a reservoir. Well, technically becoming it is a reservoir, isn't it? Because that's what it's for. Also, I haven't figured out yet why parks need electricity. What's going on in that park that requires electricity? I mean, I presume maybe there's lights. But I don't know, I mean, maybe parks work differently in other parts of the world. All the parks I'm used to are just like open grass areas with a few trees around them. Maybe some kids' play equipment put in. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, here we go, following my usual pattern of having high density behind low density. And just noticing that my footpath's vanished. I did kind of screw all that up, didn't I? So we'll just put that in there. Gives people an easy cut across. Might cut down on traffic, you never know. Not a huge fan of the angle that path took, but perfect opportunity, isn't it? Perfect opportunity to build something nice. Yeah, just light commercial all the way along there. You want that to be like little shops. And all the way along that main road, maybe want to leave it empty. Just so it doesn't create too much congestion at that point. But I don't know, I might fill it in at some point. But it's all the way along here. All this riverfront property, you want to be nice little houses. I mean, that's what you would do, isn't it? You know, the area is pretty attractive. It's got plenty of nature. I mean, I'm not putting in the facilities we need. The services, sorry, not facilities. Same thing. So there's that one there, and, you know, we want to put this educational school thing up here as well. Because we want to make sure they're educated, because that contributes as much to how nice an area is anyway, and, you know, the further and higher education's already provided for. Excuse me, we're not running short on the police or anything like that. Garbage, maybe, because look, the garbage does not go across the dam. Now, I don't understand why it wouldn't. Why would you not go across the dam? But then just make sure to... Oh yeah, I haven't built the farm yet. I could have sworn I built a farm up there. I'm thinking of a different game. No, maybe I'm thinking of this episode. Spoiler alert! I'm going to build a farm. Oh well. But yeah, I mean, that garbage truck clearly just looked like it came across the dam as well, just after I moved it. I don't know. I mean, why would they not go across the dam? It makes no sense. Yeah, some high density in there. Just a case of filling it in. I mean, those little blocks might provide some nice little high-rises of some sort. Great backdrop. I mean, look at that. That looks nice, I think. The little buildings in front of the bigger buildings. I don't think we'll get anything massive because it's not like uniform squares, so they can't make the most of it. Could be wrong. But who wouldn't want to live there? I mean, look at that. That there was beautiful. Ridgeside is a beautiful place. You know you want to live there. You know you want to move in. Definitely going to buy more land and stuff. But there's lots of stuff going on around it. There's lots of nice places to build and interesting geography going on. Maybe get that road to come over there and connect onto the motorway down there. You know. I mean, that's the thing. You want to create loops for the motorway. And oh, look at all them resources. Look at all the oil. That was one thing, but there's a lot of ore visible. Oh, there's a little bit up there and a little bit there. There is some if you look in the right places, isn't there? But there's lots of farmland. And an awful lot of oil. I mean, we will be exploiting that as well at some point. Because, you know, you want to get as many resources in as you can produced in city, so you're not importing them. Kind of just makes it work better. Delicious. So yeah, we've got all these things popping up, and look at all the parking there. You really don't want parking on this main street, so what I'll do is I'll get rid of all that parking. There you go. I mean, it's just, I mean, have you noticed how it makes the cars sort of dance around and they appear in different places as you tell them not to do that? I mean, then parking lots fill up and then they empty and then they fill up again. Just don't want that much kind of congestion going on that kind of road. Just given where it is. It turns a 4-lane thing into a 2-lane thing. I know there's extra room left there just for parking, but just don't want to do it. It looks messy. It looks messy. Who lets that kind of parking happen in the inner city? Just ends up being all haphazard and accidents happen. I don't know how well the game caters to that idea. It's a very impressive town considering there's less than 1,000 people living there. Look at all them high-rise buildings and individual houses, and there's only 977 people live there. And now here, trying to experiment with the quayside, you'll love how well this works out. The trouble with the quayside, I find, is it doesn't quite work as you'd want. I mean, I want it to be a certain level above the water. Look at that, that's below the water because it sticks to a certain level above the land. Just don't approve of that at all. So, you know, try it from this end, just see if I can make it work any better. And the problem is always the same. There's no neat way to make it finish. Okay, it always ends in this abrupt ending. So you can't make it vanish neatly into the rock, which is what you would do. I mean, there's that great big cliff up there. You would have it fish into the cliff. And the idea of using the quayside is just give me a little bit more stuff to work with right on the edge. I mean, it might let you build bigger locks. But it also just looks nice sometimes. I mean, I've used it in other instances of the game, and it has looked absolutely stunning. And then other times I've used it and it's looked awful. I mean, I don't think that looks bad. Like if I did it all the way along that front, it'd look lovely. But then you get round here, and the dam's in the way. And whilst I can do it on the land, it doesn't mesh neatly. It rises like that. Now, no quayside would do that. It makes no sense for it to do that. which means you don't have to leave it like that, and you get that messy end. It's not pretty, so I mean, you know, I play with it a bit, I try and fix it, but it just always looks crap. I mean, you want that going into the rock just so it looks tidy. You don't want it just ending there like that. And when all said and done, it doesn't give me all that much extra to play with. That's the problem. I don't know. And I mean, that there looks awful. Just a little bit. So what I do is I then start messing with it, and I realise quite quickly that there's something horribly wrong with my settings. I've got the strength set to 1 and the size set to a single block, so I just click anywhere, and it creates this huge sheer-sided hole. I said slope. There's no slope there. I suppose there's technically always a slope, and it's ridiculously deep. There you go. That's what you want. So then I want to level it out to that kind of level. Bring it all up, and I don't know, I just made a mess of it. And then I realised my mistake once the water starts pouring up like that. And up it goes, straight up over the quayside. The water's nice in this game, but I don't think it's particularly realistic at times. I mean, if you were to suddenly fill in a hole, yes, that would happen. But it wouldn't work like that, would it? You'd be dropping sand and stuff into it, and it'd be slowly filling up, and because the water's flowing, you wouldn't get that huge tidal wave. And yes, that kink in that road was doing my head in. I hadn't noticed it till then, and immediately it was irritating me. So it's about making it as neat as possible. And I want it to come in at a decent angle there. We do demolish some buildings, but you know, it's that there is a better angle. I think nice and straight. I think it just looks neater. And you know, I mean, who can argue with that? Oh dear. Just give it all to the commercial, you know, just leave it to it. Dense commercial. So I did end up building along that road anyway. I considered leaving it empty, but then I realised it might not look as nice. I would rather have a city that looks nice than a city that works. I'm weird like that. As you could call me, shallow. Shallower than the river we just filled in. Look at all that. That's flooding. The flooding's slowly working down the quayside. I mean, that's quite a substantial slope when you really look at it. But I don't think water actually works like that. I don't think that is an accurate mechanic for water. I mean, look at it. Have you ever seen water behave like that? Jelly, maybe. Jelly, but not water. No, not water. Definitely not water. And there we go. Just get rid of the quayside. I decided it's not worth the effort. And then realised that, you know, I've made a complete pig's ear of it. So just get rid of it and leave it natural. And then I realised that park is a little bit dipped. I mean, look at the state of that. Does not look good. Does not look good. There we are. It's still underwater a bit, isn't it? But, you know, it's not as messy as it was, and I'm definitely need to... Oh, God. Oh, God. Who knew that hole was there? Who knew that hole was there? That's messy. There we are. Fill that in. And lift the park a little bit so it's not in the water. And that's done awful things to the zoning. Now, you can fix that zoning, it turns out. All you have to do is reallocate the road. Which I will do in a bit, but... Yeah, if you've ever got that zoning issue where it only lets you build so many deep, all you do is... I mean, as you can see from that, you just upgrade the road to one thing. Won't let you upgrade to the road it always is, but upgrade to that. And then re-upgrade to that, and you'll see what it's done. It's made those slots available again. I don't know why the game wouldn't do that automatically. I don't. And apparently it doesn't. But, you know, it's the sort of thing where when land becomes available, they don't wait for people to allocate it. In real life, you just see like, yeah, that's part of this lot. I mean, land wouldn't randomly appear, but you might say, fill in a pond. Okay? You fill in a pond, or you terrace your garden, and you would be like, yeah, that's my land. You wouldn't wait for someone to say, yes, you can build on this. You might need planning permission, but you wouldn't wait before it became available to you, if that makes any sense. Especially with like a pond or whatever. And I mean, this is riverside property, and you would have thought if the riverside was sort of levelled out, then whatever was adjacent to your lot would be yours. If it fits in with everything else. I mean, everything else along that gap was the same size. So anyway, enough about that. Getting back on with what we were doing. Name the roads. I mean, that's Evan Avenue. Evan Avenue. That does not want that all the way down there. Whatever it was called. Was it Evan Avenue? What was it called? Yeah, it was. Evans Avenue. Is it Evans Avenue? Is it Evans Avenue? Or is it my avenue? Who knows? I can't remember what I call it now. Old Avenue. Yeah, oh yeah, because that's the original one we had. And that means that this one is then obviously, you can see where this is going. New Avenue. Yay! I like calling those avenues. I know they're called wide four-way streets or some shit like that, but I just like... I just like calling them avenues, because, I mean, I'm supposed to call them boulevards as well, because there's roads similar to that sort of layout where I'm from, and everyone just colloquially called it the boulevard. Even though the road wasn't called boulevard, I mean, the road was called road. It was given a name, and it was called road. It's like, road, rather than avenue, or boulevard. But we all called it the boulevard. We used to go down there a lot in autumn as well, picking conkers. Yeah, I know. Lost many a knuckle to conkers, but yeah, looking at all this, it's quite a nice layout, isn't it? Quite a nice place. I like the way it's all set out. What's the name of the dam? Clark's Dam, Roberts Street. So I suppose that makes it Clark Avenue? No, Clark Avenue. Clark Reservoir. I don't even know what I'm doing. Clark Dam. There you go. You can even select how long the dam gets to be. Actually, I wonder if permissions would affect the dam. Ooh, that's something to check out, isn't it? Have a look and see if the road, if the traffic manager thing I've got. Oh yeah, and there's that huge road up to there. I'd love to build along there at some point. And we've got that reservoir forming there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to name it, think of a name for the reservoir and the area and whatnot. Just let me know. Just let me know. I mean, I'm going to call it Applegate Dam. K.A. Applegate was one of my favourite authors growing up, just going off on a tangent. Some of my favourite sci-fi. But yeah, I mean, we're going to develop along that road at some point. And that's beautiful. Emma Highway and Lilac Highway. I don't know why they just call them M1. M1 eastbound, M1 westbound. You know, the M1 in this country goes north and south. Weird. But yeah, look at all this we've got to work with. I mean, this is all farmland. You can tell from the colour of it. So it'd be nice to develop something along here. Maybe a bit of farmed land just there. I mean, that looks right for the farming. Yeah, and as you can see, right there is some really, really rich farmland. Really quite ridiculously rich farmland. So it's going to make sense to get some farms set up there. You know, what better for a farmland than treed roads? Yeah, that's just what I associate with countryside. Trees either side of the road going on and on and on. But, you know, that's the countryside I grew up with. I know I grew up in a city, but the city was fairly well isolated. I mean, it's like 20-odd miles to the nearest major city. And in between, it's all countryside. I mean, there are parts of the UK where you can drive for like 50, 60, 70, 80 miles between cities, and it's built up all the way. For example, if you drive along the M62 from about the A1 to Liverpool, there's only a little bit of stretch in the middle where you can't actually see any major development. It's literally just like one long string of settlements all the way along. And other than that little gap, I mean, there's like the bit right over the top of the Pennines, but even from there you can see the cities in the valleys below. And it's amazing to think that that's all one urban area. But where the city I'm on is sort of, well, the city I'm from is like way east of that and a little bit north. It's just out in the countryside on its own. Only 20 miles, right? But you go out even further east and there's like no cities to the coast. There's a few fairly sizable towns if you stick to the main roads. But if you go down the country roads, oh, I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And it's just roads with trees and fields and stuff, and it's beautiful. Beautiful drive as well. If you love driving, I could not recommend a better place to go driving. Oh, it's amazing. So yeah, anyway, we got this road set up, and we're eventually going to have it branch out possibly across there as a bridge. Not quite the same height, so it might not work out quite as ideal as we want, but this is a good place to build. And if building the roads like that, it kind of gives it that natural flow that works with the landscape. Might make more sense if I remember what I've just said and I, go along building like that. Anyway, yeah. Set in the district so they know it's for farming. Yeah, Sunrise Park. It's a beautiful name. Just rename it, because it's not a park, it's farms, isn't it? So, Sunset Farmland. And, I mean, you just got to get some water to it as well. Obviously, there's no facilities here whatsoever. No facilities at all. You know, it's going to need them. It's going to need them. Guess shape. There we go. This is Superman's farmland. This is where the Kents live. I should have called it Kent. It sounds too much like the British county. Don't think you've been done for copyright by a county, but you never know. And I hate the way these things don't quite mesh on. You have to do that and then that. I don't understand why you couldn't just go out at an angle with water pipes. And, you know, give them some electricity. Not going to take much. Not for the farms, anyway. It's going to need some facilities as well. I mean, as you can see, none of the stuff reaches out here. Well, that does, but, you know, the fire department doesn't. You're going to need fire department. The police don't. You're going to need them to prevent, you know, I don't know, people from robbing your turnips or whatever it is. A little medical centre. Makes more sense. I mean, because we're going to put, like, urbanisation up there, you would have thought it makes sense to keep it on the main road. Because then it services everything along that main road. Mm-hmm. You know? As far as I'm concerned, I can't think of anything that makes more sense. You can tell you've got it properly aligned when you can fill it in en masse like that. Now, you know, there's a little bit of demand for industrial, so it might not become the best thing in the world, but what you want to do is put houses all the way along here. So you've got, like, now a little rural farmland settlement. You have to hope like hell that they don't all start building at the far end of that zoning, because that'll just get messy. But, you know, I mean, there's a little bit of demand, and look, there we go, we've got our first farm. Go us. We're just that good. Yes. I don't know. And, you know, there's all this awaiting development. There's room in there. We definitely need to get some buses done, because how are people going to commute up there? They would have to go by car. Maybe not everyone has a car. So the thing to do is what I did in the other city. You know, this is going to become a common trope for me. Just because it makes so much sense to my mind. I mean, having seen how it works in the real world, it just makes so much sense to me. I can't really do a whole lot about it, but there we go. I think that looks neater, doesn't it? Just makes that junction look a bit more square. I don't like the way the narrow roads make the junction narrower. There's no reason it would need to do that. I understand why it does. Doesn't mean I approve. Then, you know, I mean, I've also noticed that comes off at an odd angle, and I've just cut through the electrical wires. So the city might not be getting all the electricity it needs. We'll come back and we'll remedy that as soon as past me notices. Come on, past me. Future you is telling you what to do. You know, I mean, it's just a case of getting the... I mean, there's room for expansion there as well. That's the other thing. And, you know, just get it coming off of there. Doesn't need to be that impressive, does it? Just needs to be enough to give us a few bus stops. That's the snapping helps a little bit there. And obviously, one thing that you need to do is set it so that, you know, there'll be nothing but buses can go in there. There you go. I have it all servicing back onto the middle road as well. So what I should probably do as well is make that middle road 3 lanes. Leave it for now. Leave it be, but we definitely need to sort the traffic restrictions. There you go, vehicle restrictions. Definitely need to sort that out. And it's easy to do it now when there's no junctions, because then I can just click apply. There you go, like that, and it just does it all. Just does it all. And you know, it's always buses and emergency services only, just to stop anyone else getting any smart ideas and trying to go down there. There you go. You know, in case they want to come out as well. I mean, if I got taxis, I wouldn't mind letting taxis in there. I'm not a fan of taxis in bus stations, mostly because I have to deal with the shit and trouble they cause on a daily basis. But yeah, I can understand why they'd want to go in there. It's where all the people are. And it's convenient for the passengers as well. I mean, if you're a passenger in a taxi and you want to go somewhere, you go to the bus station, you go to the train station, you go to the airport. How are you going to get there? Well, if you're not within walking distance, you might get a taxi. Yeah, let's just tree the shit out of this. Make this a really nice area, because this probably is never going to have any buildings in it. Probably never. Just more trees, please. More trees! And just fill that up. And sooner or later, I will notice that I've cut off the electricity. There you go. Look at all that having a blackout. Yep, it's not going well. I suppose technically a brownout, since part of it's powered, but definitely need to get some electricity in there, and that should suffice. There we are. That doesn't fix... There we go, that fixes their problems. I mean, the dams are brilliant, but that little one apparently doesn't generate that much power. So what have we got here? We've got a bus depot. Now that we've got buses, you need a bus depot in order to place bus stops. Well, you don't, but if you want buses going to the bus stops, you need the bus depot. So just have them run from there. have them come around here. This would be like the little local service. The local one that goes all over the place. Have it service all kinds of interesting things. See some interesting sights. Come on, bus route. There you go, go that way. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? So, serve as many people as you can, and, you know, regular bus stops are a good, sensible thing to have. I don't want them going down on that no pavement road. Don't want them going down there too much. But it's alright if they just maybe visit. I mean, you want to service as much of that as possible. Have it go along there. I mean, people can't walk along there, but... Well, they can, but there's no pavement to protect them. Which is unfortunate, I suppose, if you're a pedestrian and you value not getting run over. I mean, I'm a pedestrian sometimes, and I generally value not getting run over. So there's that to consider. Yeah, first bus route goes. That joins there. Have that force it round that way by putting that there. Nope, nope, nope. Apparently not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that route. Nothing wrong with it. Just pull that down there and put another one in there. Just, I mean, you want them regularly, but you don't want them so close together that it just causes traffic jams. And that might. You never know, that might. So now it's a case of placing more bus routes from there. Yeah, just get another one going all the way up to the other area, because the people will walk from one bus stop to the next when they're that close together. So it's a case of, you know, get them to deliver all the way to the farms. I mean, farm workers need to get to work as well, don't they? I would imagine so. Even if I'm a bit biased, but yeah, that'll work. And there you go. A whole bunch of buses. Route 1 and Route 2, and look at them go. Look at them go. Man, and just notice it's got no electricity. Oh, is that incinerate? Do incinerators power electricity, or do they just power themselves? I'm not sure, but yeah, this hill is perfect for wind farms. Look at that, that'll power that, And look, you'll be driving past and those rotors would be at head height. Isn't it pretty? That'd be a beautiful view to drive past on a motorway. It really would. Really, really would. And as you see, we've got a shit ton of buses. More buses than we really realistically need, given that they now have a capacity of 70. I was on a bus earlier today that had a capacity of almost 100. I know, right? I don't know you can fit that many people in a bus, but if you try, you know, anything's a bus if you're brave enough. Something like that. Get as many people in as you can. Cram them all in so everyone's uncomfortable and miserable. And then just add, I mean, you do need these extra roads. Do need them. Just means that if any, you know, if I make each bay, I suppose, is what you would call it, each bay a bus stop, it makes it easy to get past the buses that are parked up there. Gives you alternate routes to work on, so, you know. Just notice I haven't developed any of that in there, and I'm going to make it high density commercial. High density, why not? Well, you know, and, you know, light density residential there. Just fill in that little dot. You know, stuff I want there as well. Maybe high density, because then you got the high rises behind again, as you always do. And then low density in there, wherever you can get it. It didn't look like it was near a road, did it? Anyway, guys, we'll deal with that later. We'll maybe build up there a little bit and sort out a few things. But for now, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? Looks absolutely stunning. Till next time, take care, have fun, and ta-ra. If you enjoy my efforts to be vaguely entertaining, you can now support me on Patreon. $1, a pound, a yen, a euro, whatever you've got, whatever you can spare, all helps. Over 1 million fed. Thank you for watching, and ta-ra.